What's up, Taiwan? I'm Reece with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The Czech Republic has opened a new center in Taiwan, marking a milestone in the two countries' deepening relations. The Taipei Center is focused on forging art and cultural exchanges, and its opening was attended by VIPs from both countries. Joyce Tseng was there.
Some jazz to celebrate Czech culture in Taiwan, marking the launch of the Czech Center Taipei. It's a milestone for Taiwan and the Czech Republic's relationship in the absence of formal diplomatic ties. The center is part of an initiative partly funded by the Czech Foreign Ministry. It will focus on cultural exchanges between Taiwan and the Czech Republic, also known as Czechia. Its opening caps a week-long delegation visit led by the Vice President of the Czech Senate, Reintroduced, who said his meetings with Taiwan President Lai Ching-te and other top officials proved the strength of Czech and Taiwan ties.
After coming back, I can assure my colleagues in the Senate, but most of them knows it, that Taiwan and Czech Republic are one of the best friends. Czech Republic might be a gate for Taiwan to cooperate intensively with European Union.
While in Taiwan, Drahos pushed for tech investments from suppliers of global chip giant TSMC, just as Taiwan works to set up its first overseas IC design training center in Prague. And Drahos says bilateral relations shouldn't be limited to industry, that art, music, and literature are also key to building on shared values. A message echoed by the launch's special guest, Bi-khim Hsiao, Taiwan's vice president.
In Taiwan, there are many fans of Czech culture, as evidenced by the attendance tonight, but also by the fact that the direct flight between Taipei and Prague is not only popular, but full. Now, freedom-loving people, culture-loving people will always be standing together.
This photo exhibit, showcasing centuries of Czech photography, marks the center's first event, as it becomes the 28th branch in a global network of Czech centers, and joins others in New York, Vienna, Tokyo, and Seoul. Itka Panegyurkova, who heads the centers, said they are excited to welcome Taipei as the newest member.
We really confirmed once again what Czech centers all around the world stand for. It is the free exchange of ideas and inspiration through arts and culture, really in order to underpin just the ideas of democratic and free society.
Looking ahead, the center plans to work with the annual fair Art Taipei for a show later this year commemorating Prague-born writer Franz Kafka. Leaders and art lovers here are celebrating the chance to better understand each other's cultures at such events, an important foundation for any blossoming friendship. Leon Lian, Patrick Chen, and Joyce Tseng for TaiwanPlus.
The latest global passport rankings put Taiwan's in 69th place, one spot higher than last year. The list by VisaGuide.world ranks passports by how many countries their holders can visit visa-free. Taiwanese passport holders can visit 100 countries without a visa, but they're completely unable to enter Georgia. Singapore, Italy, and Spain top the list, while China placed 117th. Leaky ceilings continue to plague Taiwan's main international airport. Construction errors in a waterproofing project at Taoyuan Airport have allowed heavy rains to seep into Terminal 2. The project has been attempted by 3 different construction companies in 3 months. Representatives from the airport say the situation is unacceptable and plan to fine the construction unit around $3,000 US.
持续的施工碰到强降雨，但是这个还是 不允许这种情形发生，那我们会对相关的一个施工厂商、监造单位做一个深刻的一个内部的一个检讨。
Police are searching for suspects who opened fire at a car repair shop in the southern city of Kaohsiung. Some 20 bullet casings were found outside the shop. Police say 2 people were involved in the incident, the shooter and a driver. Security footage also shows another car circling the area after the incident. Police say they are still investigating the motive. Before this incident, the city of Kaohsiung had reported 0 gun-related crimes this year. Taiwan has helped bust an international internet fraud ring. Fraudsters from Taiwan and Malaysia targeted Facebook users in Singapore, stealing almost $25 million US from them. Almost 2,000 people were caught up in the scam, which used fake ads to trick users into downloading apps containing viruses. The virus allowed scammers to access the victim's phone and remotely transfer funds from their banking apps. 6 people have been arrested in Taiwan and Malaysia. China has just implemented new regulations that allow its Coast Guard to detain foreign nationals for trespassing in the disputed South China Sea. The regulations were announced by China last month and allow it to detain people it views as conducting illegal activity for 60 days. The move is prompting fears from Filipino fishers who work in the South China Sea. China claims the entirety of the sea, despite the United Nations ruling that those claims have no legal basis. The rules took effect just after China moved to halt a Philippine ship conducting underwater operations in the sea. For more on the situation in the South China Sea and how these disputes are affecting the Philippines' ability to defend itself, our reporter Jaime Okan spoke to Ray Powell, a security analyst at the Gordian Knot Center for National Security Innovation at Stanford University.
So Ray, China is saying that the Philippines is conducting this illegal activity in this reef in the South China Sea. Are these claims true? What's China trying to say with this message?
I think what you're seeing is an increase in China's activity around the disputed features. There's certainly more ships than there have been in the past, and they are moving they're moving east. So they're moving closer to the Philippines. Sabina Shoal is only 75 nautical miles away from Palawan. So that the action has sort of moved in that direction. Yeah, I'd say it's an intensification of so basically China is doubling down, if you will, on its stance. And so in some of the ways you've seen that come out is in its rhetoric.
And recently the Philippines is saying that for the upcoming U.S. RIMPAC exercises in the Pacific, it won't be sending any ships because of it's citing lack of resources. Does this have anything to do with the pressure that it's facing in the South China Sea and facing China?
Oh, I think it's 100% related to that. There's no question. The Philippines would, under normal circumstances, would love to go to RIMPAC, and I do think it's a loss that they're not going to go. But it's hard to tell your people that on one hand we've got all these issues close to home, and on the other hand we can send a ship all the way out to Hawaii. And I think, Jaime, the other thing really to keep an eye on is this. As of today, the China Coast Guard's new policy goes into effect where they're allowed to, under their policy, detain people who violate China's claimed borders for up to 60 days without a trial. And this has really got the Philippines' attention. They're very concerned about this, that some Philippine fishermen or somebody could be caught up in this, and all of a sudden they've got somebody in a detention facility at Hainan Island or something, and that puts them in almost a hostage diplomacy situation.
That was Ray Powell, a security analyst from Stanford University, speaking to our reporter Jaime Okan. A summit in Switzerland aims to build support for Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's peace plan. Zelensky's proposals demand a full withdrawal of Russian troops from Ukraine and negotiation with, quote, another president of Russia. The summit aims to create a roadmap to peace in the region and to eventually bring Russia to the negotiation table. Moscow was not invited to the summit and says it is a waste of time. The reintroduction of the world's last wild horses to Kazakhstan is being hailed as a conservation success. Our reporter Bryn Thomas looks at the international effort that brought them back to their homeland.
When Przewalski's horses were first named in the 19th century, their range had already been reduced to a remote part of western Mongolia. By the 1960s, none were left in the wild. Now, an ambitious project launched by Czech and Kazakh animal specialists is hoping to reverse that trend. In early June, they began reintroducing these wild horses, the last in the world, to their original habitat on the Kazakh steppe.
Za mnou jsou prázdné transportní boxy, ve kterých jsme přivezli do středního Kazachstánu, do oblasti Zlaté stepy, 3 koně převalského. Jsou to první převaláci, první divocí koně, kteří se dotkli půdy stepy ve středním Kazachstánu po stovkách a stovkách let.
Nearly 50 horses will be released onto the Golden Steppe over the next 5 years. free to make their home and hopefully breed and multiply across the 7,000 square kilometers of grass and wetlands of central Kazakhstan, far from their birthplace in captivity at Prague Zoo.
Můžeme i letošní transport, i když byl do Kazachstánu, hodnotit pozitivně. Všechna zvířata, která jsme se rozhodli převést sem do Kazachstánu, vyběhla z beden nebo vyšla z beden v pohodě, byly jenom trošičku odřený.
And while these horses may be a little banged up after their long journey, including flights from Prague to Berlin, then to Erelik in Kazakhstan, then a 5-hour overland trek by truck, conservationists hope they'll improve the health of the environment by eating, then spreading seeds and preventing bushfires.
The wild horses and also such as Przewalski horse and Kulans will be serve another important role, especially for the steppe, to prevent to distribute non-native or not common plants in the steppe and also prevent the fire.
The stallion and 6 mares just introduced in Kazakhstan will be added to the 850 now roaming wild in Mongolia and China. 200 years after their disappearance, conservationists are happy to see them finally come back to where they belong. Andy Shre and Bryn Thomas for TaiwanPlus.
Cat lovers will tell you that it's hard to tell when their feline is feeling funky. That's why a Japanese developer created an app that removes the guesswork. Sandy Chi explains.
With just a quick photo of her 14-year-old cat Chi, Kitakata Mayumi can find out whether her pet is in pain.
黄色くなってるのが痛みがあるっていう判断がされた時で、それがちょっと続いたりすると獣医さんに、うちの場合は電話で相談して、こういうふうに何日も痛みがある表示が続いてしまった時はやっぱりおかしいな。
This is all thanks to CatsMe, a Japanese smartphone app developed by Carelagi, a startup, and researchers at Nihon University. The developers say it's 95% accurate. According to Kitakata, its ability to detect discomfort in cats has been a big help and saved her from several stressful trips to the vet.
この子は以前口の中を怪我したことがあるんですけど、こんなに腫れててもご飯食べるので分かりづらいんですね。痛くてもご飯食べるから。だけどそのアプリで痛みがあるっていう風に出たら、ご飯食べててもどっかおかしいんだなっていうのを判断できるようになったので、すごく助かります。
Cats that are Chi's age often get sick. According to statistics from the Nihon University, more than 70% of elderly cats have arthritis, but only 2% of them see a vet.
でその理由は飼い主さんが痛いことに気づいてないことが多いんです。で今アプリを作っている目的はいろいろな痛みに対してもしかしたら正常じゃないかもしれないっていう飼い主さんへの気づきのきっかけ、LINE きっかけっていうことを目的に今作ってまして。
So far, CatsMe has been used by over 230,000 pet owners in more than 50 countries since its launch in 2023. Using this technology to better understand their cats, pet owners can now better ensure the well-being of their beloved furballs. Howard Zhang and Zani Chi for TaiwanPlus.
A delegation from Taiwan's indigenous Paiwan community is travelling to Sweden to study cultural relics from their past. The 10-person group will be studying Paiwan artifacts held in Sweden's Museum of Ethnography. The museum's 50-item collection includes ceremonial pieces, clothing and tools. During their trip, the delegation will work to organise an exhibit of the museum's collection in Taiwan.
将这些过去100年来流落在各角落、各世界各地的文物，有机会能够返乡来做一个策展，让我们部落族人才看见过去我们传统的所有的文物。
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with images of a private club for dogs in California. I'm Reece. Take care, and we'll see you next time.